Won't cost you a
Find
shard,
it.
just a little.
The world beyond the sacred land. I need to find Olin and learn everything he knows. Who the killers were, how they saw me through his focus. The woman is one who looks like me. Why they want me dead. Olin's trail leads to Meridian. When I catch him, he will talk. And he will pay for all the lives he's ruined. Useful.
Machine rider? Ha! More like public nuisance.
check out these wares. This ceasefire feels like a crate of blaze just waiting for a light.
Fire and spit. What do you want from me?
You'll like what I have for sale, I promise.
Like a friendly face out there.
Buy what you need, leave the rest.
The machine.
Scrabbling a bit.
I saw some of the places you'd been. The new settlers have no appreciation of craft. They'd already piled your work in a ditch. But I knew the signs to look for. The scrabble in the dirt, those surprised splashes. And I did tell you we'd meet again.
Nil. Still hunting bandits?
Oh, yes. I've been sharpening my blade, anticipating the scent of the fight. Don't get me wrong. These scum are odorous. A little panic and desperation really sets it off, though. Like an incense.
So, what's your knife called?
Why would someone name a knife?
So much for small talk.
Are you ready?
Just don't think this means I enjoy it.
Don't worry. We'll take your secret to their graves.
Here they come.
No, I'm awake. And alert.
The sun smiles at me.
I'm sorry for the wait, but all goods entering the city are subject to search.
This is outrageous. We're loyal citizens. How long do we have to wait? What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and... What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and let...
going on here? Olin's in there, somewhere. And so's Erend, that other Outlander I talked to the night before the proving. Erend said he'd introduce me to his sister if I visited Meridian. Said she was captain of the Vanguard.
Now there's nothing but scrap in that Oseram village up north.
City's locked down on account of the murder.
If this keeps up, I'll be broken among. It's always the merchants who suffer.
Good luck getting through, Outlander.
Halt! Stop right there. In light of the recent attack, no stranger passes into Meridian without submitting to search.
Recent attack? What are you talking about?
The murder of Captain Ursa and her vanguards, of course. Ambushed by Shadow Carja forces in Redridge Pass.
Ursa? You mean Erend's sister is dead?
How would you know his name?
I know Erend. Summon him. I need to speak to him.
Ha! I doubt that Erend, the new captain of the Vanguard, a man in grief, is going to waste his time on a grimy Outlander.
Aloy! Hey, you're alive! I thought you were dead. Make way, make way!
All the way to Meridian just to see me?
Have you been drinking?
Ah, not really. A little. So, you're alive. We should celebrate. The drink's on me!
We need to talk, alone, and you need to pull it together.
Over there.
So you approve?
Of course I approve. From now on, she may come and go from this city as she pleases.
As you wish, sir.
There. Alone as you asked. And what did you want to tell me?
I heard what happened to Ursa. I'm sorry. I know she was special to you.
Special to me? Special to everyone. She always knew what to do. She bossed everyone around. She kept me in line. Now I'm supposed to fill her shoes. And instead, here I am, stumbling around in them.
Then stop feeling sorry for yourself and live up to her example.
So much for a shoulder to cry on.
Everybody loses people they care about. Tears don't change that.
Don't worry. Any tears I had just froze up.
A lot has happened since we last spoke. The Proving was attacked by a group of killers. Not many of us survived.
We were in the village when we heard explosions up on the mountain. Some of your braves came back, said most of the contestants were dead. I've never heard such a wail of grief as the sound that rose up from your people. How did you survive?
How I survived is less important than how I was targeted.
Targeted? What do you mean?
The killers came for me because of Olin.
What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense.
I need to find Olin. I need to know what he knows.
But he's a friend.
No, he's a traitor. I don't know who the killers are or what they want, but I do know that Olin is working with them.
But, I mean, this...
I don't need you to understand, Erend. I just need you to take me to him.
He's not here. He went scrounging for scrap and relics days ago. It could be anywhere.
Are there any places he frequents, places he returns to?
A house. Here in Meridian.
Okay, then take me there. I need to search it.
I guess. As long as I'm there to witness the search.
I need to see Olin's place. Now.
Okay, okay. Come on.
I don't get involved in politics.
So many people here, all talking at once. How does anyone think?
I don't. I just drink.
Don't forget to stock up before you're on the road.
That girl. Is she a Nora? Apparently they're letting anyone into the city these days.
Don't forget to stock up before you're on the road.
Will Avad hide in his palace
That must be the spire.
to lay siege to the citadel? Does he...
on the road.
Hey, come back. Olin's place is this way.
That what you need. Leave the rest.
Blood for blood. Vengeance for Ursa. How long will Avad hide in his palace? Year after year, why does he spare those who enslaved and tortured and butchered? Erend, you should want vengeance more than anyone. Your own sister, murdered, and her death, unavenged?
One more word, you scorched out slag, and I'll throw you in jail myself! Now get out of here, or I'll give you all a kick in the ass!
What did he mean about Ursa's murder?
Not now.
Okay, how are we gonna get in? Oh, that was subtle.
Here we are. Try not to break anything. Other than the door.
Oh, this rug is for all of this for one man.
It pays to have connections in the Sun King's court.
It looks like a picture of Olin's family. Let's see what's underneath.
Hey, how did that get here?
Question is, how to get through it.
Without a key, you won't. That's a vault hatch of Oseram make. Nothing gets through.
We'll see about that.
Call it a day, girl. Wasting time.
Looks big and heavy. Let's give it a little push.
I did say not to break anything, didn't I?
Looks like Olin kept a journal.
Olin? I knew he could read contracts, but I never took him for a poet.
No doubt now. Olin knew I was targeted.
Serve and they live. Disobey, and I will open their throats and leave their corpses to prune in the sun.
They took his wife and child captive.
They? Who's they?
The killers. They told him to obey or they'd kill his family. A map. The glyphs show places he visited. There's your proof. Read the last page. He writes about meeting me and the order to kill me.
He called himself a friend. That backstabbing cheat. How did you learn to read glyphs? And these things that you see, how do you do it?
The focus. It reveals the unseen.
And Olin's focus, it's the same?
The device is the same, but somehow Olin and the killers can speak to each other with their focuses over distances, and see through each other's focuses too, like looking through each other's eyes.
So that's how the killers saw you? Through Olin?
Yes, so far as I can tell. The focus. It...
And Olin's focus?
The device is the... and...
So that...
Yes. Now that I know where to find Olin, I should be on...
All by yourself?
Leave it to me. I'm faster on my own.
Wait. If that device lets you see the unseen...
Out of the way, Erend.
I'm asking you to help me, Aloy. I need to know who killed Ursa. Not just the Shadow Carja army, I know that, but the exact soldiers who did it.
I'm sorry about your sister, but that's your war, not mine.
Don't act like this isn't personal. You came here hunting the people who nearly killed you, who massacred your people. Why should you have justice and not me?
Look, I'll head for Red Ridge Pass, where Ursa's body was found, and wait for you there. A few minutes of your focus is all I need. Don't make me beg.
Red Ridge Pass, you said? I'll see what I can do. Place. Smells like nothing
You're
I've
an
ever smelled
outlander.
before.
Nora from the look of
Is
you.
that some kind
I
of
bet you're a
spell?
machine hunter, too.
I've hunted my share.
Well, let me give you a word of advice. Don't bother with the Hunter's Lodge. If you're not Carja, you'll never rise in the ranks.
Sounds like someone needs to shank things up at the lodge.
Maybe. But it isn't gonna be me. If you decide to go, be sure to give them a good old-fashioned Banuk farewell mark in my honor.
A Banuk farewell mark. What's that?
Piss on the floor. Preferably someplace they won't find it until it gets nice and sour.
These damn Oseram.
You look like a hunter.
You there! Can you help me? Just a moment of your time. You're the one the Vanguard has been crowing about. The Nora who tracks criminals and traitors with her second sight. If only you'd use it to help me. A thief raided my home and took my brother's sword.
Why would someone steal the sword?
It's priceless. Made from the burnished antler of a lancehorn, finely inlaid with studded stones all down the...
Okay, I get it.
Forgive me. That's not even why it's important. The 12th Sun King gave it to my brother for his military service. He was killed in battle during the Liberation. I was saving it for my nephew who's stranded at Sunfall with the Karja in Shadow.
Tell me about the robbery. Don't leave anything out.
It was brazen and professional. They took only the sword, my most valuable possession. The thief went out through the window and scared the shadow off my steward. Otherwise, it would have been a clean getaway.
How did your nephew wind up in Sunfall?
Most of the old clergy backed the Mad Sun King, so when he fell, they ran out of fear of retribution. As an honor guard to a venerable priest, my nephew had no choice but to go with them. Now that my brother is gone, my nephew is my heir, so that sword really belongs to him. And after all he's been through, I won't be able to look him in the face if I don't get it back.
I'll see what I can do about the robbery.
Have a word with my steward if you need to. He saw the thief escape. And listen, all I want is the sword back. Meridian, and my family for that matter, has seen enough strife already. If I can get it back, all is forgiven. No retribution necessary.
You saw the thief make a run for it?
My back was to the wall, you see? Wasn't expecting someone to crawl out the window. He ran past me, dressed in gray, clutching the sword. That's all I saw. By the sun, my heart nearly seized up.
Drops of blood bleeding away.
Can't
More
imagine
blood.
what you...
I'm still on the trail. Still more blood. The thief got cut pretty bad. You're looking for artifacts?
Yes, but I'm no profiteer. Sun King Avad has named me an envoy to the Banuk. I work on their behalf, looking for sacred relics to return to their homeland. I'm especially interested in wooden figures that are sometimes found near Banuk rock painting. If you have any, I have valuables to trade for them.
Tell me more about these Banuk figures.
Simple wood sculptures made by Arnak, a legendary hunter who was exiled from Ban-Ur for killing. He left the figures near painted stones in places that reminded him of his homeland. Later, his tribe declared him innocent. Now they see him as a kind of wandering hero and want those figures back. I do what I can to help him get them, including trade for them. If you have any. You ready? Let's try. Come on back if you find any Banuk. I pay well for Banuk relics, Outlander.
The trail ends here. But someone must have seen the thief. Did someone run past here, holding a sword?
Sure did. He grabbed some linen off the stand here and took off down the stairs behind you. He was bleeding, so maybe he needed a binding. Blast it! That was expensive cloth. I can't believe I paid for that thief.
If the thief came this way, there's only one way he could have gone. forward. No sign of the thief. Someone must have seen him go by. Did you see anyone run through here? He would have been holding a sword.
Yeah. Almost crashed into me, too. He ran down the parapet here and went down the lift. No way you'll catch him now. I didn't see a sword, though.
He wasn't carrying anything.
Not a damn thing. Just ran like his ass was on fire.
The thief must have ditched the sword. But where? Maybe he had help. That merchant stall would have been a convenient drop-off.
Wish I could steal a moment like this every day, especially for every time.
It looks like the thief got away, but without the sword. I thought maybe he dropped it off somewhere. Like here, for instance?
What? No. I had nothing to do with this.
I guess we'll see when I get the city guard to toss your stall and question your customers.
Hold on. There's more to this. You've got a reputation for shining light in the darkness, so I know you'll listen. You're right. The sword was passed to me, and I passed it on to someone else. It's going to be sold, but not for profit. The shards will go to people in need.
You expect me to believe that?
I can prove it. Meet my friends at the watermill in the lower village. They'll explain everything. If they don't convince you, come right back with the guards. I'm not going anywhere.
It wouldn't matter if you did. I'd find you. But all right. I'll check out the watermill. Okay. Guess I should go to this watermill then to find out what's going on.
I pay well for Banuk relics, Outlander.
What's their story?
Able-bodied adventurers, Oi there, Outlander. Name's Vilgund. Did you come to the city looking for work? Oh, good shards. Enough to buy garb more becoming of your...
Okay, stop there if you want me to hear you out.
I only meant a well-molded woman such as you. I heard an interesting rumor about a Banuk camp. Tame machines, the rumor said. So I hired men to investigate. Just investigate, that's all. Those Banuk are canny. Too canny. I paid up front. Well, half up front. I've had no word back.
So now you're hiring someone to find the last men you hired.
They're a sunk cost. This rumor's worth more to me.
What can you tell me about the Banuk?
The Banuk women. Snow witches all. Cold eyes, cold... They choose to live up there in Ban-Ur, in the ice. Trying to have a conversation, it's like chipping them out of the stuff. They prefer machines for company. That's why I'm putting my shards on this rumor.
Then they might not want outsiders to know about this place.
Their mystic act. No care for possessions, for luxuries. Pile of slag. Those people bargain harder than the winter frost.
Are you some kind of merchant? You don't...
More of an explorer.
But you send other people to do your exploring.
All right, more of an opportunist. Girl. Nora girl. Huntress. We live in a world of opportunities. Risky opportunities. But why should risk stand in the way of a lucrative prospect for the likes of me? All right. I'm more of a gambler.
If I did look into your rumor...
You won't need to climb up the shoulders of the world for it. It's on the edge of Banuk land, beneath the anvil of the moon. And you look like you know your way around the savage east. The east. If it's true they walk among machines without fear in this camp, well, you can't miss that, can you? Payment on return.
You're Nora. I'm the mournful Naman. My apologies that we meet like this.
Like this.
In grief. You hold yours close, like a talisman. Wait, forgive me. You didn't come for reparations? Someone you lost to the Sun Ring?
No. I know about the Red Raids, but the Karja owe me nothing.
I see. Well, I could use the help of a strong-willed outlander. Then I would owe you very much indeed. These people seek to honor their loved, their lost, with their own voices. Not mouthing Karja rituals to Karja stone. But there are obstacles. While Meridian holds its breath for any disturbance, these robes only tie my hands.
If I could help, what must be done?
The first pilgrim is an Oseram, who seeks to visit the Shrine of Kings on the road to the city. He waits there now, forbidden to enter by an old sun priest who suffered no heathen. This Utaru lost her companion on the edge of the Jewel, at a pool where snap moths gather. The shrine was built there to ward off the machines, and its effectiveness leaves much to be desired. And the Banuk would paint a mark on the sun's climb, a call to the machine spirits, I understand. They need no beckoning. Glinthawks perch there, drawn to the spire's shining.
So, clear the machines out of 2 shrines and move a priest out of the other.
All I can ask for is your charity and that their stories are heard.
I didn't think your priesthood would ask outsiders.
If only the sun would set on our pride. Until this is done, I am no sun priest. To wear a red robe was an aspect. Now our hoods make us blind. We whisper reconciliation, but forget how the old king's priests sang the words and blessed the killing.
The killing? You mean the Red Raids?
Yes. And the sacrifices that came after.
Why did the priests go along with all that bloodshed?
Sometimes we Karja are more concerned with what is tradition than what is right.
Huh. Maybe the Karja and Nora aren't so different. What kind of...
The first pilgrim is an Oseram, who seeks to visit the Shrine of Kings on the road to He waits there now, forbidden to enter by an old sun priest who suffered. This Utaru lost her companion on the edge of the Jewel, at a pool where snap moths. The shrine was built there to ward off the machines, and its effectiveness leaves much to be desired. And the Banuk would paint a mark on the sun's climb, a call to the machine spirits, I understand. They need no beckoning. Glinthawks perch there, drawn to the spire's shining.
So, clear the machines out of 2 shrines and move a priest out of the other.
All I can ask for is your charity and that their stories are heard.
I'll do what I can
to honor their memories.
time.
Metalbot here, good prices, fair prices. Fairest prices for machine parts under the Mesa. No tithes to the Sun Court, not like those greedy
She's not interested in taxes.
I know what she's not interested in. As I was saying, no better offer for snap-maw lenses. I'd give my oath.
By the sun, don't start spitting in your palm. Huntress, I apologize on behalf of my partner. Silent partner.
Silent partner?
If the sun would only grant my prayers. Never mind snap-maw lenses, Huntress. There's no market for those. A long-leg lens, though, you'd be well rewarded for.
So which,
No market for a snap-maw lens is good, strong stuff. You can hammer it into anything.
Where do you think we are? Some trading post with sawdust on the floor? This is Meridian. We have culture.
I know culture. Just the other day I was watching the hunting trials.
Oh, great sun, lend me the strength of midday.
The sun's baked your head if you think we'll shift long-leg lenses at a time like this.
Hello?
I've told you as many times as the spire is tall,
Craft doesn't win a war, or keep the machines from your farms.
Oh, yes. Old-fashioned, plain hammered work. If ever something glittered, you'd throw it back.
If Carja had built that elevator, they would have stopped at a good-looking shaft.
All those years of delving, and you never found a sense of humor.
Enough!
Well?
There.
Why do you two even work together if you can't agree on anything?
It's a symbolic gesture.
No tithes to the Sun Court. Like I said in the beginning, Renee.
Just tell me which part you want.
A long-leg lens.
A snap-maw lens.
Fine. I can see that you're busy.
Wait. You drove her off. Snap-maw lens. What do you say?
I drove her off? That's rich. Listen, Huntress.
Hunters, scroungers, bring us your medals.
Avad must have...
Scroungers? What kind of brutes are you trying to attract?
You do the count.
I wouldn't say agreed.
I have a snap-maw lens to sell.
Excellent. Here's your payment. What a beauty.
Beauty? You only know that word when you're bringing them home from a tavern.
Your objects of art won't pay our dues. I'll tell you why. Because artists are always poor.
Might as well hang that snap-maw lens around our necks. There's a dozen hawkers selling them upside.
You wouldn't know supply and demand if it was written on the backs of your hands.
The last thing I want is you making any more deals today.
If you'll see sales about this snap-maw...
Oseram are hardly better than Nora. They live among piles of scrap from the old...
I was told to expect you, Aloy. I suppose you want answers. Well, it's not conflict. We collect valuable objects from people who don't need them, sell them for shards, and use the money to help the needy at Sunfall.
You mean you steal?
If you want to call it that. From hogs who've had their turn at the trough for generations.
Ravon didn't seem like a hog to me.
He stinks just like the rest of them, of wealth and contentment. while people beneath him suffer.
Who exactly gets the shards at Sunfall?
Not the bastards in the fortress. We use the shards to make sure the poor in Shadowside get to eat, or bandage their wounds. They only went west because they had to. Trust me, I know. My wife was chained up with a bunch of servants and herded with them. They starved to death. Still, so am I.
Where's the sword now?
Safe. I haven't sold it yet.
What do you expect me to do now? Walk away?
I was hoping you'd help us. They say you can track like a stalker. Well, my partner Nassan disappeared near the branded shore. He was bound for Sunfall, along with an entire shipment of food. If you found that, you'd be helping a lot of people.
I'll consider it. But only if you return the sword to Ravon.
I knew you were gonna say that. Fine, I'll return the damn. Nassan was supposed to meet his contact at an old campfire on the fork near the branded shore. But be careful. Lots of machines out there, and lots of Shadow Karja. And not the needy kind.
Had to take over my brother's ship today. Sure as the sun's rising.
Hardy little plant. You'll help.